Okay, class. Today we're going to cover section 2.3. The name of the section is called Graphs That Enlighten. So we're going to cover pretty much 8 types of graphs. Some that you probably have been exposed to, and some of them you've probably never seen before. Right. So the first graph we're going to start with is called the dot plot. Dot plot. So the definition of dot plot, let me share that with you, is a dot plot consists of a graph of quantitative data in which each data value is plotted as a point, or they use a dot that's plotted on the horizontal scale of values. So each of those dots represent equal values that are then stacked. So that's the definition of a dot plot. So I'm trying to highlight it. Let me highlight it. There we go. There's a definition. All right, so the dot plots aren't necessarily just focused on quantitative data. You can also do it on qualitative data, which is labels. So let me give you an example of what a dot plot might look like. So suppose that I ask students to give me their month and the day that they were born on. All right, and so we'll list them. And let's say that we have April 6th, May 10th, June 4th, February 18, January 6, February 14, July 19, June 7th, July 28th, December 24th, and we'll do May 17th, right? And we want to do a dot plot just based off of the months that the students were born in. So what you do to create a dot plot is you draw a scale, horizontal scale, and you start labeling the months of the year. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. I'll have enough space. Yeah. Okay. Right. And what I do is I look at how many Januaries appear on my list. Well, I only have one. So I'm going to represent that value with a dot. Month with a dot. February, I have 2 of them. So I will put two dots, one on top of the other. March, I don't have anything, so I'll leave that blank. April, I have 1. May, I have 2 of them. So I'll put 2 dots. June, I have also 2 of them. July, I have 2. I don't have anything for August, nor September, October, nor November, and we have 1 for December. So each dot represents each of the months that their students were born on. So there's your dot plot. Very simple. This one you have to do it by hand. There's no Excel. You can't do it via stat dist, it has to be done by hand. And so you just count and you observe on the graph which month had the most. Well, it was a 4-way tie. February, May, June, and July. Those 4 months had the most number of students born. So that's a dot plot. Okay. So the next graph is called a stem plot. Okay, stem plot. So number 2, a stem plot. It is also referred to as a stem and leaf graph. So let's take a look at that definition of it. And the definition of the stem and leaf is it is a graph that represents quantitative data by separating each value into 2 parts. You have what they call the stem. That's going to represent the leftmost digit, and the leaf, which represents the rightmost digit. Right. So, for example, if I get the day that a student was born on my data that I collected, and we'll choose the last value with the May 17, right? So I just want the 17. I want the day. So 17, you have to split it up into 2 parts, right? So you have the leftmost is your stem, the tenths is your left, this is your leaf, I'm sorry, your stem, and then your leaf is the 7. So the 1 is the stem, 1 is the stem, and the 7 represents your leaf. And so what you want to do is you want to go ahead and separate, you want to get all your days that all the students are born on and separate them into stems and leaves. And so what you do is you create this table. You create a table, just like kind of like the T table. And you start listing all the stems. And then you put your leaves. Right. So for example, I have the value 6. So your stem for the 6 is going to be a 0 because there is no value on the 10th spot. So it's a 0. So your stem is going to have a 0 and then a 6. So any number that's a single digit number is going to have a stem of 0, single. Right? So if I go through my list, I have 6, 10, 4. Here's another single digit number. This number has a stem of 0. So I'm going to get this 4 and I'm going to put it on the row containing the stem of 0. And I'm going to put it right next to the 6. So any single digit numbers are going to be placed on the stem row of 0. Right? Another number that is single is 6. So that also has a 0 in front. So I'm going to put the 6 and back up the 4. You don't have to put parentheses. You just put the number. Is there another single digit number? Yes, I do. I have a 7 single. So that's going to go next to the 6. So all of the single digit numbers are going to go on row stem 0. So I have my 6, 4, 6, 7. 6, 4, 6, 7. It doesn't have to be in any order. The book says they do have to be in order, but it doesn't matter. Whether you have them in order or not, it's fine. You're still going to get the same picture. All right, so now we're going to go back to my list. And now I want to take care of all the ones that have a stem of 1. So any any number that has a 1 in front is going to go under my stem of 1. So 10 has a stem of 1. So I'm going to put the leaf back of 0 here. So this is 10. Next one is 18. It has a stem of 1, so I'm going to put the 8 next to the 0. The next value that has a 1 in front is the 14. So I'm going to put it under I'm going to put the 4 and put it in the 4, next to the 8 on the 1 stem. Right. 19 also has a 1 in front, so it's going to go here. And 17. That 7 goes in. Right. So you can read them back. 10, 18, 14, 19, 17. Right. And now I got to take care of all the data values that have a 2 in their tenths. Well, apparently I have 2 numbers that have a 2 in the tenths. So I have the 8 and the 4. So I'm going to put an 8 and a 4. So if you want to read them back and verify, I should have single digit 6, 4, 6, 7. I have a 10, an 18, a 14, a 19, and a 17. I have a 28 and a 24. And by creating this table, you can see if it's skewed or bell-shaped by turning it over. Apparently this is, it's not bell-shaped, kind of close to it. If only if this 7, if that value was over here, then it would be a perfect bell shape, but it's skewed a little bit. So that's a stem and leaf plot. Now, if you were dealing with data that had a 3-digit number, let's say you're dealing with data that had a number like 124, you have the choice of how to create your stem and leaf plot. You can either split up the 124 and make the 1 the stem, and you put the leaf as a 24, 2-digit number, or you can make the 12 the stem and the leaf a 4. Again, it's up to you how you want to separate the value. You can do it however you want, but you have to be consistent. Okay. That's if you'd have a 3-digit number. Okay, so that's a stem and leaf plot. The next graph is going to be it's called a time series graph. This is number 3. Okay, time series. Now, to do a time series, I'm going to give you the definition in a little bit. But that one, you're going to have to use the file that I have attached to our Canvas page. If you go to Files, you click on the folder that has data, and you click on data for section 2.2, 2.3. You're going to have to upload the data set for that, the Excel spreadsheet for that. So you can see how that works. Okay, so let me give you the definition of a time series. A time series is a graph which quantitative data that have been collected at different points in time, such as monthly or yearly. So typically time series are used in the accounting discipline, marketing, economics, things of that nature that has time as a, it's a variable in the graph, right? So maybe and I know this from experience, typically time series are used to monitor stocks, right? So you have you on your horizontal scale, you have the months to track the your stock, how it's performing. So that's your vertical. Your time will be the horizontal scale, and then the price would probably be the vertical scale. So that's how that would work. Okay. So there's May, February, May. And then you of course you track your graph. Okay. So let's look at the spreadsheet that I asked you to download. So let's see. Open it up. Nope. Okay, let's see if I can find it. Apparently got kicked out. Okay, so let me upload it. Okay, here it is. Okay, so let's look at the on the Excel spreadsheet that you have downloaded. It should have the McDonald's. If you look at the very bottom of the screen, you have tabs in the bottom. I have the McDonald's that we use in 2.1, and next to it is the time series. Right. So this problem is, I believe it is number 9 in your textbook on page. Let's look for it. It is one of your exercises that you have to do for homework. And I just want to double check which number it was. It was number 9. That's right. It was number 9 in section 2.3. Gender pay gaps. So listed below are the women's median earnings as a percentage of men's median earnings for recent years, beginning with 1990. They want to know if there's a trend. So they want you to create a time series graph. Sorry, there's number 9. Listed below are the women's median earnings as a percentage of men's median earnings for recent years, beginning in 1990, and they want you to create a time series. All right, so we're going to go to our Excel spreadsheet, right? And I entered the values, the gaps among the men and the women's, right? And it says that you have to start in the year 1990. So I put 1990. So what you have to do is you're going to have to create 2 columns. Column A will be the year, and then column B will be the amounts of the gaps, right? So I want to, it says to start with 1990, but I have to fill in the other ones. So what I do, I kind of cheat, is I start with 1990, right? And I'm going to go ahead and put 1991. And what you can do is after you type in the 1991, highlight, left click, hold, drag, and then both of them are highlighted, and you can see there's a little green dot right in the corner of the cell, right there. You see how your cursor is a white plus sign? If you hover over the corner, it becomes a black plus sign, right? So I'm going to left click and hold and then drag it down. You got to get it right on the dot. And the dates have been filled in for you. And I believe I watched the video. We can do it. I watched a video on doing that instead of dragging it. And it said to go make that white plus sign into a black plus sign and then click it twice. And it'll automatically populate it for you and without having to click and drag. But they're the dates. All right, so now I want to go ahead and graph the data. All right, so what you do is you're going to click on B, click on it, and you're going to go to on our tab at the very top, you're going to hit insert, and you're going to choose, you can see it right in the middle, there's a recommended chart there right next to it on the right of it. There's like wavy lines going up and down, up and down. That's the one that you want. You want that graph right there. You want to click on that one. It's called, what is it called? Insert line or area chart. That one. You're going to click on that one. And we're going to choose the one with the dots. Yeah, not this one, but you want to get the fourth one. Right. Right. So you get the graph, right? And there's the trend of how the data are going. Now, the thing is with this one is that I do not have the dates listed below on my horizontal scale. So to fix it, what you're going to do is just click on one of those numbers within that horizontal line from 1 through 22. Just click on any one of them. I'm going to just pick 12. If you click on it, all those numbers are enclosed in a long rectangle, right? So you should see a rectangle shown embedding the numbers in there. So you're going to right click and you're going to hit select data right there. So you're going to right click and you're going to give you an option and you select data. You're going to click on that and you're going to get this window. So what you want to do is you want to click on horizontal category axis labels. You want to hit the edit button. There's the little edit button right there. And what you do, they're going to get another little window. And so what you're going to do is you're going to highlight, left click, hold on the 1990, hold it, and then drag it down to the last date. And then let go. And then you hit OK. And you hit OK. And presto, your dates will appear on the bottom horizontal scale. And that's how you get your dates listed. So now you know what day, what month, I'm sorry, what year the gap occurred in. And so that's your time series. That was number 9 from your homework. That was section 2, 3. And if you want to copy it, I think you can right click on it. You can copy it and you can paste it on your Word document where you have all your graphs. And you probably want to label it, right? You want to probably label it. This would be time series for number 9, right? Copy it, paste it on all those graphs that you're saving, right? So that's how you do a time series. All right, so the next graph is called a bar graph. This is number 4. A bar graph. So a bar graph, you don't want to get a bar graph confused with the histogram. Now, for a histogram, the graphs are they're stuck next to each other. They're connected. Whereas on a bar graph, they are you're comparing data. So here's the definition of it. So bar graphs uses bars of equal width to show frequencies of categories of or of categorical data or qualitative. So this one's it's mostly used when you're comparing data. There's maybe you're comparing genders, you're comparing cars, you're doing a comparison of multiple variables. Male, female, genders, automobile makes. You're doing a comparison. That's where you use a bar graph, right? So for bar graphs, um, when you draw the graph, your horizontal scale will have usually they'll have the year, time, right? You'll have your time, and then you'll have your, I don't know, we can do math is red, English. Math is red, English. And you have the years listed here. I don't know, we'll do 2005. And then there'll be a gap. And then there will be the other graph. And of course the graphs are connected. I didn't draw it nice, but yeah, that's how a bar graph, English, right? 2006, something like that. Right. And then you have your frequencies here. And the reason why there's a gap in between is so that way you can see a comparison. You're comparing the years. You're comparing 2005 with 2006 and so forth. And the bars will be together but separated by time. And sometimes they'll have a legend saying that red is math and blue is English. Right. So and remember histogram, you're only graphing one single variable. You know, you're doing weights of patients. It's one single variable, whereas this one you have multiple. All right, so let's go to our spreadsheet in Excel, and I'll show you how to do one in our Excel spreadsheet. So let's click on the bar graph tab on our Excel spreadsheet, and this is how you would have to type in the data in an Excel spreadsheet. So you would have to put your time. The times would have to be on the first row. So notice I have 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022. And then I have the genders I'm comparing, males and females. So this is, they ask students what their major is, or were they majoring in the STEM field. And this is the number of students at that particular university that indicated whether they were going to major in STEM. So you separate them, males and females. So you'll have to put the males or females or whatever gender, right? List it and then put the label the row, and then go ahead and put the values per year, and then the next gender you put the number amounts underneath each of those specific years. Once you have it set up in this manner, you're going to highlight the data, and you're going to hit insert, and you're going to click on next to the recommended charts, the very first one right there called insert column or bar chart. You're going to click on that graph. Click it. You're going to select the first one, and there's your graph. So notice that there's the legend. Males are blue, females are orange. If you want to change it, You can click on the column and all of them get highlighted, and you can click on fill and you can pick grid, whatever color you want. Right? And there's your graph. Although the graphs are not exactly like close to each other, that's how the system works. They're not going to be meshed together. That there's no way that it can work. But we'll have to talk to Bill Gates about that. But there's a gap, a large gap in between them, so that way they are separated by years. So there's your bar graph. Okay, that's graph number 4. Right now we're going to do graph number 5. Graph number 5 is called a Pareto chart. Now a Pareto chart is going to be a little bit similar to the bar chart. The only difference between the bar chart, the bar graph, and the Pareto chart is that for the Pareto chart, the categories are arranged from highest to lowest. So this is an example of it. So if you look at the picture of figure 2.8, this is the Pareto chart for stolen boats. Notice how the bars are stacked. It goes from highest to lowest. They are bar graphs, but the only stipulation is that it has to be ranked from highest to lowest. All right, so let's do one. So we go to our spreadsheet. Right, and I'm going to click on the Pareto tab. And I believe this one is from your homework. This one is numbered. Let's see if I could share that with you. This one is number on your homework. This one is number 11. Journal retractions. In a study of retractions in the biomedical journals, 436 were due to error, 201 were due to plagiarism, 888 were due to fraud, 291 were duplications of publications, 287 had other causes. All right, so they want you to create a Pareto chart with that data. So what you have to do is you, in your Excel spreadsheet, you would go ahead and type in the labels for those numbers. You have to put error, plagiarism, fraud, duplications, and others, right? And then put your numbers on the second column. So here's what I did. I put error, plagiarism, fraud, duplications, and then others. Now, the thing is, remember that for a Pareto chart, they have to be arranged from highest to lowest. So I'm going to I need to put those in order. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight both sets of columns, right? I'm going to highlight them. And I'm going to go to my sort filter in my home tab. I'm going to go way at the very far end with the AZ with the filter. I'm going to click on that one. But there's a little, yeah, you click on it, and what you want to do is you don't want to hit these yet. You want to go ahead and click on custom sort. So you're going to hit custom sort, and I want to sort these rows by column A. Oh, sorry, by column B. I want to use the values on B to sort them in order, right? So I'm going to sort by column B, and then I'm going to click on from largest to smallest. So column B, largest to smallest, and then I'm going to hit OK, and presto, your data have been arranged in order. You want to see that again? All right, so left click, hold, drag, cover all both columns. Go to the home tab, go to AZ sort and filter, click on custom sort, and you want to sort by column B because of those numbers that you want to put them in order, right? And then you want to do from largest to smallest, and presto. There's your sorted data, right? So now you want to do your bar graph. So you want to go back up. Since it's already highlighted, you don't have to highlight it again. Go to insert. Next to recommended, you're going to click on the bar chart. And let's do the first one. And there's your graph. So it kind of mimics the graph that is kind of like the one that we had with the boats, right? Kind of looks like it. But it's similar because they're arranged from highest to lowest. And so there's your Pareto chart. It's kind of like the bar graph, but only that they're in order. Right? So that's your Pareto chart. All right, next graph. The next graph we work on is the famous pie chart. Now, for the pie chart, you have to remember that for the pie chart, your data has to have percentages. That's how the pie chart has to be. So a pie chart, let me give you the definition first. A pie chart is a very common graph that depicts categorical data as slices of a circle in which the size of each slice is proportional to the frequency counts for the category. Okay, so you may not want to do this by hand. You want to draw it by hand. You got to make sure that you have all those numbers correct. So there's a lot of, and you got to remember that for a pie chart, all the pieces within it have to add up percentage-wise to 100%. And each piece is proportional to what it says. So if it's 10%, the graph better look like the piece is 10% or 50%. So that's why it's very important that if you draw it by hand, you got to draw it accurately. If not, you can use Excel or StatDisk. I prefer Excel. Excel does a marvelous job in graphing it. So I'm going to show you how to do a pie chart in Excel. So let's go back to our spreadsheet. And I'm going to click on the pie chart. Right. So as an example, we can do, we ask students what type of car do they drive. So this is what we gathered. So normally when you record these, it's supposed to say 20%, 15%, 20%, 10%, 25%, and 10%. They're supposed to be percentages, but in Excel, it does not like percentage symbol in it. So make believe that there are percentages. They have to be, column B has to be percentage. Let me insert this. Let me insert here. So here's the make. This is the make of the car. And next to it is the percentage. And we'll color that in. All right. So make sure that when you have your percentages, that on Excel, you do not put the percent symbol. It only takes in the value of the percentage. All right. So once you have those in there, you want to go ahead and highlight, not the labels, but just highlight the Dodge 20, and then down, highlight those. Then you go to insert and you click on next to recommended charts. There is a circle pie graph. I'm gonna click on it, and we'll do 3D. Why not? Let's do the 3D. And presto, there's your graph. Now, if you guys download the free version of Excel through Alamo Colleges, you're not going to have all the little the little extra fluff that I have here. This one, the one that I am using is the official Excel. That's the downloaded version. This is the main one that has all the whistles and everything. It's got everything. So you may not have that option to choose. So you can choose, if you have the downloaded version, you can choose the one that looks nicer. I like the one that has the labels and the percentages all together. So I'm going to see if I can find one that has everything in it. And I can't find one. I want one that has the labels and the percentages together, and I don't see it. It's supposed to be there, but I don't see one. I guess the nicest one I see that has everything would be that one, right? Where it has a color, it has a legend for them. So dark blue is Dodge, orange is Ford, and you can change the colors if you want. But yeah. Oh, here's one. Here's a good one. That's a good one. I didn't see this one. This one's better. Look at that one. This one has the label and the percentage in them. And the cool thing about the downloaded, the newer version of Status, not the free version, is that you can actually move a piece out. So if I click on just the 4 piece and just move it out, it will break all the pieces out. You can put the pieces back. Just leave the, you can just leave the Dodge piece out, which is cool. I don't know, that's just a cool, unique feature. And again, you can right click, copy, and then paste it on your Word document that contains all the graphs. But make sure that you label your graph of what number that particular column is from your exercises in the book. All right, so there's your pie chart. We got 2 more. Number 7 is called a frequency polygon. This is number 7, frequency polygon. All right, so let's go back to the frequency polygon. Go back to the book. So a frequency polygon uses line segments connected to points directly above class midpoint values. So a frequency polygon is very similar to a histogram, but the frequency polygon uses line segments instead of bars. So in order for you to create a frequency polygon, it requires you to have a histogram. You need the histogram graph to graph a frequency polygon. There's no way around it. You have to have the histogram in order for you to graph the frequency polygon. All right, so let me show you all how to create a frequency polygon. So we're going to go back to our Excel spreadsheet, and I'm going to click on the tab frequency polygon. Okay, so we're going to create a frequency polygon on the data with the McDonald's. So our McDonald's data that we had before had these numbers, right? So yeah, so we're going to create one of those frequency polygons with that data. All right, so how do you guys remember how to create a histogram. If you don't, let me remind you how it works. All right, so we're gonna go to stat disk. All right, let's see if I can find it. Stat disk. Find it. Stat disk. All right, here it is. Okay, so here's my stat disk. And I want to upload the data. So let's see, choose my file. I'm going to click on the data that I had. I gave you, no, we're going to uncheck that and upload data. Right. So there's my data. All right, for the, I don't know why that 107 appeared. Anyways, there's my data. You don't have to put them in order. That's fine. It's the way they were. That's fine. All right, so there's my data uploaded, and I want to create my histogram. So remember, you go to Data tab. You're going to hit histogram. You're going to select 107, right? That was the title of it. I don't know why I call it 107. And I'm going to click on user defined. I believe the width was 50 and the start was 75, if I remember. Yeah. And there was your histogram, right? So what you want to do is you want to go ahead and get your histogram. You're gonna download it as the PGN. And it's loading it up. And I'm gonna open it up. And this is what I get. And I want to edit the picture. I can find the edit picture, the edit button. Oh, find my edit. And let's see, I want to edit. Download it. I'm going to edit the picture. And let's see if I can, I need to edit it and make some pictures on it. I don't think it worked. Hold on. I don't think it worked. All right, let's try it again. Instagram, open it up. Edit image. It was supposed to let me. I guess I'm gonna have to copy it. All right, I'm gonna have to copy it. Copy. I have to copy it. Edit. Copy. Copy clipboard. Okay, I'm gonna go to my Word document. For some reason it's not working. Anyways, let's see. I'm gonna go to my Word document and I'm gonna paste it. And I want to edit it and add stuff to it. So let's insert. I want to insert some shapes. I'm going to put a line. Yeah. Okay. So what do you do is you have to put you have to connect the corner to each of the centers of the graphs. I'm trying to make it darker. I don't think it's letting me do it. Not letting me make it darker. Right. And I'm going to insert another line from here to here. And I'm going to put insert another line from here to here. And then I'm going to put another line. Oh, this is much better because when I drew it, it didn't come out nice. So what you're doing is you're drawing lines from endpoint to the center of the bar, another line from center to center, center to center, center to center. You're putting lines on them. There to here. I gotta do another one. Insert shape line. There to here. There you go. So the lines, the graph, it kind of looks like Patrick from SpongeBob, but the lines, not the bars, but the lines create your frequency polygon. So pretty much you have your histogram. All you're doing is you're connecting the first corner origin to the top of the middle top of the first bar, then that middle point to the next 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 to the end. All those lines together create your frequency polygon. So that way you have a graph that looks like the ones in the book. Just like that. So that's what ours looks like. It should look like that. If you compare that with ours, you can't see it because it's covered up with the bars, but that's what our graph should look like. I don't know why it's not letting me edit. So I don't know why. Something's wrong. Anyways. But yeah, that's how you draw a, let me try it again. I just have to have it done correctly. I just don't know why it's not working out. No, this is not letting me do it today. I don't know. It was supposed to let me edit, and I could have edited, but yeah. Well. Yeah. But there was a graph I had before, but yeah. Okay, so there's your frequency polygon. And then the last graph that we cover are called the pictographs. So pictographs, these graphs are pretty much used to, I guess, make things biased. If you want to, exaggerate graphs, you can apply pictographs. Now I can't draw pictographs, but pictographs are drawings of objects that are often misleading. So they use pictures. I can't draw that, but they're used cigarettes in this case. And so they'll make one much bigger than the other one, and they usually do those misleading graphs to make a point, and sometimes they exaggerate when they make the point, but here they doubled or they tripled the size or quadrupled the size of the graph, right? So indicating that there's a problem or there's not a problem with the issue. So that's a pictograph. All right, so we covered all 8 graphs. So practice using your Excel spreadsheet that I gave y'all to practice. So again, it's you may not need it. We're not going to be using it a lot in here, but you all may be needing it for your other courses, whether it's in economics and history, where you have to do a research project or anything. They're the graphs.